Hello, everyone. This is your girl Shanidra with Beyond the Cover. Yes, I am so excited on today. When I say this topic right here is deep, it goes beyond the cover. Beyond the cover. We're going to talk about what beyond mean and the cover because God wants us to go beyond the cover. So, the topic of today is they played you because they didn't know that God favored you. They didn't know. They did not know that God favored you. So let me tell you, because honey, when I say, I'm going to try not to get ahead of myself because I'm going to allow God to take control. Now, as you guys know, I'm in love with this beautiful, wonderful purse. This is beautiful. It's like a newspaper purse. And y'all know I do a magazine every quarter. So, look at this. I mean, this is just fantastic. I mean, it goes with this. And this is one of our Amore Too Classy boutique fancy sweater dresses. Yes. So we have this. And my lipstick, we also sell the lipstick as well. So my lipstick is this color. And it's only $3, but this will not be for sale because I'm using it on today. So as you guys can see behind me, I have this beautiful, as I told you, two-toned dress. Now, remember I had a different black and white dress that was like cut, and it was just like a black stripe, and the rest of the dress was white. But this one is black and white. Like, look at this. Look, and it even comes with a belt. It comes with a belt. So you need to come down to the store or go on our website and purchase it today. Now, we also, as I told you, have these fancy, beautiful, classy pens. So when you are writing in your journal, we also have new journals. You should have known. You should have known that we was going to have some more journals. Now, this is a limited supply. These are our With God, All Things Are Possible. I wrote down what God had me to write down on today because I had to get one. I had to snag me one. I was like, God, can I have one? Can I have one? And he said, yes, ma'am. So I have one of my own, but this is beautiful. Look, with God, all things are possible. So with my little fancy pen, yes, my little diamond, because we are all diamonds in the rough. So let's get to it. As the title says, they played you because they didn't know that God favored you. It's beyond what you see, sweetheart. It's beyond. That's why this is called Beyond the Cover. And I asked God, I said, God, what made you come up with Beyond the Cover? Because he said he's sick and tired of everybody going by the cover. He said he wants everybody to go beyond the cover. I said, well, why did you give it to me? Why did you tell me? Because, I know I dig deep and everything is deep with me. And, I can't, be surface minded. I'm not surface minded at all. I can't. So, beyond the cover. I've always went beyond the cover on everything, on everybody. But let's see what the word beyond means. According to the dictionary, beyond means at or to the further side of, far off, far away. Yonder, you have to go beyond, yonder, beyond the cover. Now, cover means put something on top of or in front of something, especially in order to protect or conceal. So we have to go beyond people's cover because they are concealing something behind their mask. And see, God is unmasking all the false prophets. He's unmasking all of those that are not his. He said that's why he wants you to go beyond the cover. He wants you to see them for who they are, look at their fruits and how they are succeeding in life. Is it in God or is it not? Go beyond the cover. Now, as you guys know, I told you guys that, uh, I can see things. Like if I look at a room, I really don't necessarily see this room. It's like I see what I'm going to put in the room. I see beyond the room, itself. Everybody else can probably see, oh, this is just a room, whatever. But I saw beyond the room and I saw exactly what I wanted in the room or what God wanted to place in the room. So I was like, God, that is so interesting because I've been like this all my life. Even when I would get in trouble in class, my teacher would always, try to be smart because I couldn't see. I couldn't see near. I was not nearsighted. I'm farsighted. And see, I never looked it up until today. Today. That, okay, I already knew I was farsighted because my mom took me when I was younger to see if I needed glasses because I couldn't see anything near. It was like every time you put it near, I back up because it's too close. But if you show me something all the way beyond yonder, all the way far away, I can read a whole sign yonder. But I can't see it. I have to keep backing up because I'm farsighted. Well, God said, enlighten them on what farsighted means since you have been educated on it. So I was like, okay. Farsighted means you're unable to see things clearly, especially if they are relatively close to the eyes. And that is me. That's why I have to back up. People be like, dang, what are you doing? I'm like, I have to back up. I can't see it. I was like, oh, I'm trying to show you. I'm like, yeah, back it up. Put it back further because I can't see close. So farsighted people can't see anything close. And I'm farsighted. Like I cannot see anything. Like I have to back my own hand up. Now it says relatively close. Okay. Owing to focusing on rays of light by the eye at a point behind the retina. Behind the retina. It says farsighted people are wise, visionary, discerning, careful, watchful. It says it says having or showing imagination or foresight. So I had to look up what foresight means. Foresight means the ability to predict or the action of predicting what will happen or be needed in the future. Provision, planning, caution, precaution, readiness, discernment, presence of mind, vision, awareness. So, with me being farsighted, see, I didn't even know how significant that was. I did not know what farsighted mean. I just knew that I freaked out if my imagination. I used to always say, it's my imagination. I can't, I can see everything that you're saying. And they're like, my arm is healed. I'm like, I know, but you just described it open. I can see that. And it's like, ooh, like I could see everything that people would describe and it would freak me out. Like, oh my gosh, I saw beyond what is healed in front of me. I always seen what was said. So people misunderstood me and they thought I was over the top. Even when, go to the doctor, they're just like, it's too much, she's doing too much. She's not cooperating. She's asking too many questions. But I go beyond. You can't psych me out to get a shot. You can't psych me out to do nothing because I can still see it. Well, close your eyes. If I close my eyes, it's really going to be more vivid. So I used to ask God, like, what is wrong with me? Why do I always see beyond? Why I can't just, see what everybody else see and be normal? And, but I always, since day one, have been farsighted. And I didn't know how special farsighted people are. Because we see beyond, we can't even see clearly up close. I can't see nothing up close. I mean, I can see it, but I have to back up to really see it. but I can see everything far beyond what is in front of me. So you are gifted with discernment. I mean, this is on Google. I mean, this is beyond. Farsight, it says that you have a discerning, you're a visionary, you're wise, you're watchful. It says having or showing imagination or foresight, the ability to predict or the action of predicting what will happen or be needed in the future. I didn't even know how I could see stuff that was about to happen. I thought it was deja vu. That's what I called it. Deja vu. I'm like, oh, I must be having deja vu because this has happened before. Or I would tell somebody that something is about to happen and I didn't even know, and then they were like, remember when you told me? I'm like, no, because I didn't even know. We don't even know that certain things are gifts that some people may see as, how could I put it? As, handicap or makes you less than or whatever. No, God he made you beyond the average. Beyond. You can see beyond what everybody else can see. I can see beyond. I'm farsighted. I've been farsighted all my life. I've had this vivid imagination. I've always been able to see. But people have always underestimated me. I've underestimated myself. But I'm here to tell you on today, when I say that don't underestimate yourself anymore. We're already going to be underestimated because people they're focusing on the cover. God wants us to go beyond the cover, because once you go beyond the cover of what you see, then you will be able to hear and see people differently than what's in front of you. I hear and see people differently than what others see in front of them. So I can hear what they are saying to me without sometimes what they're saying. I can hear a different thing because I go beyond their cover. I don't focus on what they look like in front of me. There's been guys, I can go to relationships with this. There's been guys that's like, how would you date such and such? Because I go beyond the cover. I'm looking at the spirit. Some of these phones, their spirit ain't all on it. So I go beyond the cover. It's not always about looks. Period. And we must learn to go beyond the cover, beyond what you see. It's easy for me to do that because I'm farsighted. Everything that I see is beyond what's in front of me. I cannot see literally what's in front of me. I always see far beyond. And that's just how God has blessed me to be. I didn't even know it was a blessing. I used to think that what is wrong with me? Why can't I just, not see these things? Why am I seeing all this extra stuff? Because I'm like, dang, everybody thinking I'm weird and crazy. And, because I see things beyond and I see, what they're talking about. And I see, I'm like, ooh. And they're looking at these blank walls, but I'm looking like, oh my gosh, because God would download stuff to me and I would see exactly the picture. Like exactly whatever he's downloading, I can see it. Literally, it's so vivid. So if you are farsighted, it says that it says having or showing imagination or foresight. You have the ability to predict or the action of predicting what will happen. You have this ability. You have discernment, precaution, readiness. All of this God has given to you. So, regardless, they played you because they didn't know God favored you. They played David because they didn't know that God favored David. They played Joseph because they didn't know that God favored Joseph. They thought Joseph was a joke. Oh, he's just a little brother. Oh, this. Same as David. I'm like, what? What David gonna do? That's our little brother. He needs to go back. Bye. What are you doing here? They was talking stuff. What are you doing here? Go on. Why are you even here? We're fighting this big battle. And who did God choose to fight that big giant that everybody else was scared of? Why are you shooing David away? David was the one that was going to beat the giant that you are trying to defeat. So it doesn't matter if they play you, because God has already, they didn't know that God favored you. They didn't know that God favored David. They didn't know. They're thinking David need to go on somewhere. But David was the main one that God has sent. That's why God said go beyond the cover, because you don't know who God has sent. And if you keep focusing on people's cover, you're going to miss the blessing that God has right in front of you, because you will refuse to go beyond the cover. You don't know how they're going to look. You don't know who God is going to send. It's not going to be the one that you expect that he's going to send, that has this concealed cover, this mask on their face that, you don't even know. They seemingly, and he warns us about these type of people, but they seemingly to do right. They seem like they are righteous, but they're not. God said he is warning us about the false prophets. He's warning us about these false people. Of course they know the Bible. The enemy knows the Bible. The devil knows the Bible. How do you think he is able to deceive? That's why we need to have the word for ourselves. That's why we need to have that connection with God ourselves. Ourselves. Period. Yahweh is the example. Period. He showed us exactly how God is going to be talking to us. Yahweh, Jesus was able to go in with the rest of them that's been to school and the little scholars and biblical scholars and all this, and was able to talk to them like it was nothing. And people ask me all the time, have you? No, I have not. I'm just following the example that was given to me. Jesus only needed God. We hear from God. His sheep hear his voice. He will speak. He told Moses, didn't I give you the map? What are you talking about? I'm going to be the one that's going to be talking through you. It's not even going to be you. I was just like Moses. I was freaking out. I'm like, what do you want me to say? I don't know what to say. And God was like, I'm going to speak for you. I'm like, but everybody going to think, because I'm just a photographer, they're going to think that I'm not. And he was like, why are you worried about your enemies? I got your enemies. He said, I for you. Who can be against you? Nobody can be against you. Period. Because when they're against you, sweetheart, they don't even know that they are going against our Father. They don't even know. See, Goliath thought he was so big that he was going to beat David, little bitty old David, and David ain't nothing. They underestimated David. And look, Goliath was telling David that he was going to chop David's head off. Who chopped who head off? Period. Stop underestimating. But they play you because they don't know that God has favored you. David brothers and all the others did not know that God had favored David. Joseph brothers, he told them, but they were so jealous and thinking that they could stop Joseph and what Joseph had told him, the foresight that he told them that was going to happen. It ended up happening anyway. But they played him because they didn't know that God favored him. And God said it's time for us to go beyond the cover, beyond what you see, and see who God has us to be. You are missing out on blessings and blessed people that he is sending in your life because you refuse to go beyond the cover. You want to go in with the crowd and what everybody else is doing. He said, do not do the things of this world. We're in this world, but we can't do the things of this world. So what this world says right is wrong. Period. So who are you serving? Whom are you serving with your actions? That's the fruits that he's talking about. What are their actions showing? How are they treating his people? Period. Because if you ain't treating his people right, then you're not serving him. Who are you serving? Who? Are you truly going beyond the cover and helping his people out? Or are you prejudging his people after he told you not to judge? Well, he said we could judge right, and righteously means what's right in his eyes. That means we only supposed to go for what he says is right. And what he says is right isn't us judging anyone, period. Now, all we're supposed to do is tell you what is right and allow you to do what you know is right. But that's it. We're not here to micromanage nobody. We're not here to judge anybody or put them down. He says we're supposed to uplift one another. Uplift, that means say something positive, to uplift them, to grow beyond what everybody else see. We're supposed to see beyond them. We're supposed to hear what they are saying without them saying it. I have the ability to hear people's pain. I have the ability to hear a lot of things and see a lot of things in God, that God only when God downloads, not all the time. But that's what God has made his people to be able to do. We're supposed to be compassionate. We're supposed to have compassion towards one another. We're supposed to empathize for one another. But we don't do none of that. We're hating one another. We're jealous of one another. We're missing what God has us to do. And that's to help his people, help one another. We don't have to go on Facebook Live every time we help somebody. You don't never see who I have helped. And you would never. He said we're supposed to do things in secret. And he, God, will reward us openly. Why are we sitting here? Oh, look at me. Oh my gosh. Look, I just gave her this beautiful lip gloss. No. Do unto others as you would want be done unto you. If I was homeless or whatever, thank God he has not made me that way. But if I was homeless, I would not want nobody to put me on blast just to give me some lip gloss or to give me some gloves. Period. I'm thinking about just carrying gloves in my car. So if I do see somebody out, because thankfully I'm able to get warm, but there's people out here that's not able to get warm. And I don't need to put them on blast. Oh, look, I'm giving them some gloves. I'm doing this. No, that's not in God. You're trying to glorify yourself. You're not giving glory to God. That's what he means when he says, why do you call me Lord, Lord, and you didn't do what I say? And then they say, oh, didn't I prophet? No, you prophet lied. You didn't do that in my name. You didn't do that for me, for my glory. You did that for your own glory, for your own power. Oh, I can't do this. Oh, I can't do that. Quit trying to control God's people. God said quit controlling his people, period. They already under enough control through the Pharaoh. He's trying to get them out of that mentality by renewing their mind. But every time their mind get renewed, if they are going beyond where you have them to be, then you want to stop them and put a stumbling block in their way. That's not of God. Where is that of God? God said unacceptable, period. Unacceptable. It's not going to happen. So, if you are in God, you will stop what you are doing. I had to stop the way I looked at people. I had to stop the way I talked to people. It's a lifestyle change. I have to change the way I dress. It's a lifestyle change. The way I act. He's changing everything. The way I think. I used to think crazy too. Like, oh, honey, I'm not dealing with that. I thought I could not deal with stuff. But God said, no, unacceptable. Because you have to deal with stuff in order to help other people deal with stuff. That's another thing. We have all these broken people trying to help other broken people. You can't do that. You can't do that. Get healed. You go through the process, because the reason why you can't help nobody through their process because you're thinking that you already done passed up the process and you're done. No, I'm still in the process. So we're never really done in the process. He's always pulling and taking other things out of us. So we have to continuously grow and be in the process. Quit trying to rush our process. Quit trying to rush everybody else's process. Everybody's process is different. Mine may go a little bit faster, or mine may go slower than yours. You may have got it like that, but it took me 50 more years. We don't know other people's process. And it's not up for us to judge and say they should be getting it right now and they should this and they should that, because we are not God, period. We're supposed to be servants of God, but we're not God. So therefore, we do not know the process that God has for his children. All we're supposed to do is help his children, uplift his children to be better, to know who he is, to give credit to him so that they know him. See, we keep telling them about Santa Claus and we want to tell them about the Easter Bunny, and then you want to look at me crazy. Just like Jesus said, Yahweh said, he said, why when I tell you the truth, you don't understand what I say? That's because we're not serving the same Father. Your father is the devil. Period. That's whom you serving. Because if you're not serving and doing what God has told you to do, God didn't tell us to do nothing about no Santa Claus or none of that. No Easter Bunny. That's why the kids can't believe it's about God. Because they thinking, oh, is my mama lying about that too? My daddy lying about that too? Is that some fantasy thing that they trying to like the tooth fairy? I mean, what? Then we want to get frustrated with the kids when you don't even know how to act right. You get some act right, lead by example, then you can say something. If God said he didn't never tell you to tell them to do what I say and not what I do. You stop doing what you're doing because they're going to do what you're doing. I realize that there's nothing we can say or do. They're going to do what we are doing, what they see us doing. And you cannot control the other parent or nothing like that. All you can do at that point, if they're looking at the other parent, because they always somehow look at the one that's not doing, but all you can do right there is pray. That's it. Because only God can heal these people just like he had to heal you. Just like he's healing me. He's still having to pour out stuff like ain't nobody perfect. He said, if any man say that they have never sinned, he said the truth does not lie in them. If you over here acting all higher and mightier than thou, then the truth does not lie in you. You've never sinned. You've never done anything. The truth does not lie in you. You can't help nobody because you have never done anything. So who can you help then? Just be to yourself because you're not glorifying God. You want everybody to look at you and look at me and look at what I've done and I. No. No. Where is God at in I? You don't know. You don't even see I in God. Period. This is ridiculous. Period. We have to go beyond the cover. You keep playing God's people because you're too busy looking at what you think is of God. This persona. But the devil is pretty good at deceiving God's people. But if you have that connection, if you get that connection on your own with God, then you will be able to start seeing stuff beyond your sight, beyond what is in front of you, beyond, you can start hearing people. Because I used to, snap back at people. I used to. Because like I said, I'm not perfect. God had to renew my mind and change me. But when people would be yelling at me, I'm like, who are you talking to? But now I can hear that they're not, because the thing that will frustrate me is that I knew I didn't do anything to them. So I'm like, why are they going off on me when I haven't even done anything? But God is like, go ahead with that mindset that you have not done anything. So you know that. So obviously you need to listen, be slow to speak and quick to listen so you can hear who they really are talking about, so you can hear their real pain. But so many times you cut people off. I get cut off so many times. I mean, and then they got the audacity to try to tell me what they think that I was about to say. You don't know who I am. You don't know me. You don't know the way I think, nothing. But you cut me off. We cannot continue to cut God's people off. Period. Let them let it all out. Wait until they are quiet and then speak. Be slow to speak and quick to listen. How can you give them any advice and you didn't even hear them? Oh, I already knew what they was about to. No, you don't. You don't. As soon as you hear one part, you cutting them off and telling them what they need to not do. And that was probably about to tell you that they're not doing that anymore. They was just probably telling you what they were doing. And now but you didn't even let them get to that part. Be slow to speak and quick to listen. We have to listen to his people because we can't help them. We can't help them unless we hear them. Quit trying to tell them what's wrong with them and let them tell you what's wrong with them. Let them. They know what's wrong with them. You can help them once you can hear them. If you ain't listening to them and you can't hear them, how you going to tell them what they need? They can tell you. We keep trying to tell these children what they need, but we refuse to listen to the children and ask the children what do they need. No, because you trying to make the children lead. No, that's not what I'm saying. You got to go beyond. Quit trying to do this surface stuff, because what are you teaching the kids? Every little thing you hear, you nitpick. No, we got to go by example. Listen to what I'm saying. We have to listen to the children. Ask them what is wrong. There's nothing wrong with asking your children what is wrong. Period. How hard is that? No, because ain't nothing wrong. You don't know what's wrong with your own child. There's kids committing suicide. When I made the bullying book a few years ago when my son was being bullied, I made that book because I wanted to learn all about the cyberbullying. There's all types of new bullying that wasn't even bullying back then. But I educated myself on every type of bullying. I put it in a book so I can help others. All they have to do is just get the book. It's on Amazon. But that will help others to know about bullying. But at that time, it was a little boy that was my son's age at that time that had committed suicide. And the mother said she never knew. She thought everything was fine with her child. Our kids are going to tell us, I did not know that my son was being bullied. He refused to tell me, I guess, out of protection of how he thought I would feel, because he didn't want to hurt me. And he knew if he was hurt, I'll be hurt. But I had to find out. And that's how I learned that he was an artist, because he drew out his pain. I used to watch him go in his room and draw. And I'm like, let me find that notebook, because he keeps saying he's fine. But I know a mother knows when her child is not fine. We need to ask our children what is wrong. And don't just take, because we don't want to deal with what's wrong with them. Don't just take what they say. Oh, well, they said that they was fine. Ain't nothing wrong with them. No. If you sense something, then ask. Be there for them. Take some time out to listen to them. Listen to them. Quit cutting them off. I had to learn that too, because I used to cut my children off. I used to be like, what? But now I'll be like, give mommy a moment, then talk to me. But if I see that it's how I could tell how they're looking, if it's something serious, then I'm going to just take the time right then and there. Put myself aside so I can hear my children. And we have to do that with all children, not just our children, not just, I'm talking about all God's children. We have to be slow to speak and quick to listen. We can't solve nothing. We can't resolve nothing in our own minds of what we think people need and what we can actually listen and hear what they actually need if we listen to them. If we actually sit down and shut up for 2 seconds to hear his people. That's why he said be slow to speak. Hush. Be quiet and listen to them. They would tell you, no, people just wanting to stop going to church. And why? Can you take the chance to see why? No, because they want to just be out and do whatever they... No, because they're not getting no love in the church. Listen to them. No, because they're not going to say that. They're not going to say that about... No, they can. Because that's their feeling. That's their experience of that. Of being in the church. And if we can hear them, then maybe we can resolve some of the issues that they are saying, so we can get God's people back to him. But we can't do that if we keep cutting them off and telling them what they're doing and what they're not doing and not listening. You get what? Go beyond the cover. I left a church when they kicked out a homeless person. The homeless person was actually enjoying the church service, enjoying the Holy Spirit, but I guess people complained about the smell. Help you can't get the lady some smell good privately after church. You got to kick her out of God's house. That is not of God. So as soon as they was escorting her out, I escorted myself out. Because I'm not with that. I'm not with anything that's not of God. So we need to stop doing that. Go beyond the cover. Go beyond. Stop treating his people wrong. Stop thinking that you're higher than what you are. If you really going by the Bible, that's what the word says. Don't think of yourself as more than what you are. Stop acting better than other people. Stop judging. Stop being jealous. Stop hating. We can't even come together until we figure out this issue. Jealousy is the biggest issue in this. Oh my gosh. From gangs to everything, jealousy. So once we get the hold of that, and we can start hearing one another and go beyond the cover, then we will be able to see differently. He renews your mind for a reason. He had to renew my mind, because my mind was not the way it is now. I was snap while you snapping. But now that God has renewed my mind, now that I have been actually through I'm not through all of the deliverance part, but I have been through some deliverance, and it don't feel good at all. So when people be like, oh yeah, we're gonna be delivered. Oh no, it's not that. It's not, ooh, yeah, no, ma'am. When you are being delivered and God is pulling stuff out of you that you have asked him to take out that you didn't realize, and he start pulling stuff out that is not of him, and all of that, you be like, oh my gosh, you're crying, you feeling all types of emotions, you're in isolation. This is part of the isolation part. I mean, people need to why can't you just tell people this simple stuff about the isolation part, and why it's important for them to be in isolation? Why can't you tell them when they're being delivered, it's not going to feel good at the moment, but once you see the light at the end of the tunnel, it's going to be like, wow. It's just like a mother delivering a child. It don't feel good, honey. Why we doing the delivery part? It don't feel good at all. At all. None. Not even afterwards. We be still hurting for some weeks. But once we see that baby, it's like all worth it. Once we birth out that baby, once God birthed out that baby in us, that gift in us, and we are able to see the gift that he has put inside of you, it's like, oh, it was like all worth it. It was like, the pain was just worth it, because now it birthed out your gift. Your gift is now birthed out of you, because now it doesn't have all that other stuff clogging you up. You're clogged up right now, and you need to be unclogged. Because once he unclog you and he get all that stuff out of your drain, then now everything is able to come down with no problem. The water is able to come down with no problem. Right now you got all this backed up, clogged up stuff that you can't really hear or focus on anything that God is saying. God, he ain't changed the way he's been talking to me. I'm like, God, you've been talking to me this whole time. Because he didn't really change. I'm just able to hear him now because he has unclogged me. He has taken my trash. And quit adding more other people's trash into your trash. You already got to take your trash. Quit adding other people's stuff, because you're not going to be able to be a blessing to other people. We have to start going beyond the cover. We have to stop judging his people. We have to be slow to speak and quick to listen. We have to listen to his people. That's why we're still in the same cycle over and over. Oh my God. Oh, it's been going on. We still ain't got, because we're doing the same thing. Oh, I'm following my ancestors. Okay, so you're going to follow them right where they were. Next. Let's learn from them. Let's learn from what they see. What my brothers was able to do. See, I was the firstborn child. So I had to go through everything, and they was able to, see what, I messed up on, and they was able to, just learn from that. But see, I was the first partaker of everything. So, I'm the one that, have to find out what is wrong and what is right. So that's the same as our ancestors. They were the first partakers, but now we are able to look at what they did and learn from it. Okay, they did this part right, but they didn't do this. So we can try to start implementing this, and we can start see where their problem was. They didn't glorify God. They were glorifying themselves. They were worshiping Pharaoh, and they were worshiping other things instead of God. So what we need to do, so we won't continue in this bondage, is start to focus on God, giving God the glory and watching our whole life change. If we are obedient to him. Oh, well, he ain't done nothing. Because you ain't done nothing. What have you done? Quit blaming everybody else but yourself. God is not going to show you anybody else but you. We're supposed to tell the truth. And people can't even hear the truth. The truth. Don't nobody even know the truth about themselves. They don't even know themselves because they don't know God. You can't know yourself if you don't know who created you. Our kids can't really truly know who they are without knowing us, whom they came out of, who they came from. You can't know yourself. There's no possible way to know yourself without God. Period. I don't know what you think this is or whatever, but speaking to the universe is what God created the universe. But you refuse to give glory to God. You're following the same thing that they did. God said, why would you want to provoke my wrath? Why? Why? You're not doing what I said. Why are you calling me Lord, Lord? Don't come up there calling him Lord, Lord, acting like you did what he said when you knew darn well that you've been following what the world tells you to do. Oh, I can't do that because, they'll fire me. Oh, I can't do that because they're going to cut off my money. Cut off, do whatever you got to do. Because God is my supplier, period. Period. He has shown forth, period. Paid off a car during the pandemic. Like, who does that? Dropping money like it ain't nothing just because I was obedient. I had faith in him. I did not waver this time. Now, have I always been like this? No. And I see the total difference in my life from just enough to beyond. So, if you want to go beyond what you see. Stuff is not going to look like God told me it was going to be that, and now all this other stuff happened. Okay, and he told Moses to tell the people that he was going to deliver them from Egypt. But it got harder. Pharaoh made it harder, but God already knew that. He hardened Pharaoh's heart. If you read it, God hardened Pharaoh's heart on purpose. It's going to get harder because he's building you up to the place that he's trying to bring you. He can't bring you in that little mindset that you're in now. That broke mindset. And they still was talking about basically going back to slavery. What was you crying for? God heard your cry. So you was crying for what? He heard your cry. But then when he delivered you, since it don't feel good, that's why I'm telling you, when you are being delivered, it's not going to feel good. So just know that. But at the end, just like when we're having a baby, it's going to be a beautiful thing because it bursts out your gift. After he pulls out all this gunk and junk, then it's like a beautiful gift that you are able to see who you are, number one. You're able to finally see you and how God sees you and how much he loves you. When you see that, you won't care about what nobody else say because you like, man, the Almighty, this how he see me? Oh my gosh. And how he pours out the love, the unconditional, no conditions, unconditional love. All the stuff I've done wrong, he still loved me. All the stuff that I have messed up on and did, he still is here. Blessing. If you are still here, he still cares about you. He is not done with you, sweetheart. I can tell you that. He's not done with you. He loves you in spite of everything that you have done. You're still here breathing. He loves you so much. And he's making it so overwhelming right now because he's pouring out his love. He loves you with all his heart. And he just wants you to love him back. That's it. That's all he wants is you to give him you. just like we want with our own kids. Our own kids, we just want, love us back. We love them no matter what they do. No matter what they do, we still love them. And that's how God is. He still loves you. There's nothing that you can do. I tell my kids, they will tell you. I don't even have to tell them. They will tell you. I tell them, no matter what they do, I will never stop loving them. No matter how mad they make me, I will never stop loving them. They know that for a fact because I not only told them that, I have shown them that. And I know for a fact that God loves you because he has not only told me that, he has showed me that. I've never experienced this type of love in my life. And when I say the peace that surpasses all understanding, the love that he gives you is unexplainable. And all I'm saying to you today is to trust in him, not in man, not in nothing else. Don't worry about it. We're supposed to stand like Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego. No matter, they can put us through the fire. Do whatever you got to do. Because I'm standing firm on my Father, period. We shouldn't be scared of these giants. David was not scared of the giant because he knew he had God. And see, the reason why you scared because you don't know where you are with God. But God is still here. He has his hand out. All you got to do is put your hand right back on it and say, here, God, I'm here. Here, take me, Lord. He is like, here, I want you. He's ready to hold you. You need to be held. You need to be nurtured. And he is here to do that for you. He's here to heal you. Can't nobody else heal you. I can't heal you. Only God can heal you. And if he heal you through me, then that's him. Still him and still not me. So all I'm saying is God is go beyond the cover. Stop judging his people. Let's get to the real solutions. We can't get to a real solution if we don't hear his people. Quit trying to tell them what they needed without asking them. Ask the people that need it. We say this all the time about the white folks with us. Oh, how they gonna tell us what we need? They don't know. Okay, that's the same thing. How are we gonna tell anybody else what they need if we don't? Come on now, we gotta ask. We gotta listen. Shut up. Shut up. Be quiet and listen to his people. Let them tell you what is wrong. And shut up. Just be quiet. Just listen to what they're saying. Don't interject. Don't say your opinion or nothing until they are done. And while they're talking, you can be praying for the right words for God to speak through you. So you will have the right words to say that will be encouraging. So we won't be in our flesh. We keep handling things in the flesh that we see. God is telling us to go beyond what we see. See, that's what was messing them up, the Israelites up, because they kept looking at what they were seeing. Well, God told me this, but why did you even tell Pharaoh? Because now that you told Pharaoh, he done made it 10 times harder. Don't worry about what you see. You know, God promised you he was going to deliver you. We don't know how he's going to deliver. Who would have imagined that he was going to part the Red Sea? He performed miracles. So our thoughts are not his thoughts. The way we thinking and the way we think it's going to happen, it's not going to happen that way, period. Trust me, I know. I done sneak peeked. I done tried. All of it. And I could never figure out. And then he just boom. Right when I stopped thinking about it. Right when I stopped overthinking and trying to figure out how it's going to happen. Boom. That's when he blessed. That's when the gift comes. So stop trying to figure it out. Just trust God. I had 2 kids. I mean, I still have 2 kids. I can't say had. But I have 2 kids as a single mom. They were, 1 or 2 and 5. No daycare, no nothing. But God. Nobody has taken this path in my family. So I had nobody else to look at but God. Literally. So I'm just telling you to trust God. 7 years later, it'll be 7 years in business that he has held me and guided me with my children. He is my source. It's not even this business. It's not even me. People ask me, I don't even know. It happens. Miracles. That's how I know miracles happen. People say, oh, you just seen it because of the word. No, it literally, my car got paid off during the pandemic. What else? Got a new car, got another car. Then this year he exchanged all those cars, got me. I mean, who does this? God. And I don't even know how I said I'm trying to catch up. Then I'm walking into building. It's God. It's not me. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know, but just to be obedient. All I'm doing is listening to what is right in his eyes, what he has for me to do. That's it. I'm not nothing special. I don't sage. I can tell you that. I don't do candles. I don't do nothing but pray to God, the Almighty, the only God that's here. Period. I don't do none of that other stuff. I just be obedient and listen to God. I be still. Now I'm still. I used to always be going. And I still be going, but I listen. Oh, I'm listening. I'm trying to hear you. Like, be quiet. I don't want to hear nothing else. Because I want to hear God. Especially when God is starting to download stuff. I don't want to hear nothing. That's why it's important for you to have these journals everywhere. And these journals will remind you, because it says, with God, all things are possible. So when we start writing stuff down in these journals, I mean, all things are possible with God. We're supposed to just write it down. So we have new journals. We still have the other journals. We have new pens, fancy pens. So beyond this materialistic stuff, I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about us going beyond the cover. They played you because they didn't know God favored you. They played David because they didn't know God favored David. They played Joseph because they didn't know that God favored Joseph. But at the end of the day, all God is saying is go beyond the cover. Period. Go beyond what we are seeing in front of us. It's easy for me, I guess, because I'm farsighted and that's the way God made me. But I'm helping everybody else to just start listening. If we shouldn't just take ourselves, that's what I had to learn how to do. I had to start taking myself, because I used to get offended quickly. Like, who's she talking to, or who he talking to? But now it's like, take yourself out of it, Shanidra, so then you can hear them. Because I can't hear you when I think you're talking to me. But when I take Shanidra out of it, it's like, oh, so you mad because la-di-da-di-da. Well, yeah. And then they start really, calming down and all that stuff. But see, we can't hear them when we snapping back. Because, honey, I would snap back. I used to snap back like, boom, 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 boom. We're not hearing each other. But God had to renew my mind, change my mind. I'm still in the process. So I'm not acting like I'm perfect or beyond anybody. Because I'm still in the process. He's still working on me. So I'm just telling you stuff that I used to do, and now that God is renewing my mind, I'm handling things different. I'm able to hear people. I'm able to take Shanidra out of it. And when you take yourself out of it, you're able to hear it. Because when you thinking that they talking about you, you like, oh, heck no. But once you take yourself out of it, you like, oh. So you was talking about the person at your job? Yeah, because they got the nerve. And then you're like, oh, okay. Now I can hear you. Now that I know you ain't, and even if they are, we still need to hear what they are saying, that we are doing, their experience of us. Because we could think that they are experiencing this glorious person, but we could have had a bad day when we handled them. And that could have bothered them, and we don't know that. So let's start to go beyond the cover. Let's start being slow to speak and quick to listen. We can't give any advice if we don't listen. What advice are you giving? Your opinion. That's all you're giving, your opinion. It's not facts. It's nothing facts because you didn't listen to the facts. So you can't give facts and all this extra stuff until you actually listen. So go beyond the cover and listen to his people. Uplift one another. Quit following your ancestors. Learn from your ancestors. Why would you want to continue? And then we wonder, oh, it's still going 400,000 years. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, and it's going to continue because you're still copying your ancestors. I'm listening to mine. And learn from them. Go beyond what they did. I want my kids to go beyond me. Like, come on now. Let's go beyond the cover. You see how he got me somewhere right real quick because my face. So let's go beyond the cover. Know that God love you. You have there's nothing that you can do to stop him from loving you, period. You're still breathing, so he's still giving you a chance to repent. But I always say, before you repent, turn from your wicked ways. Stop it. Stop it, fast from it, do whatever you gotta do. I used to say 30 days, but I'm gonna say 3 months is your probationary period that you need to stop whatever you better tell God that you're repenting from. Stop it. Then repent. Because then you have formed a habit of not doing that. So then when you go to God, you're already not doing that. So you will continue the habit. Everything is by habit. We'll go deeper into that on another date. Let's go beyond the cover.